So I recently watched Leave the World Behind, the brand new film on Netflix, which was created by director Sam Esmail, the same guy who made the Mr. Robot series, which is, starring Rami Malek, series that I have not watched, but I've heard is terrific. And this movie stars Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, Mahershala Ali, and even Kevin Bacon shows up. I mean, this is an amazing cast. And the movie is essentially this unique post-apocalyptic world in which these two different families kind of come together by coincidence, and something is happening in the world that is essentially sort of isolated them from everybody else and has put them in a spot where they don't understand what this apocalyptic event is, but they know that something is wrong. Something is definitely amiss here, and they have to figure out how to move on, how to deal with each other, and how to figure out what's going on outside. And I see this film getting like a lot of controversial coverage. I see a lot of people really liking it, a lot of people saying it's the worst thing of the year. There's a lot of weird stuff behind it, like I'm pretty sure Barack Obama like co-produced it or something and like had notes for the script, which is interesting because the subject matter, this is stuff that he actually has, he definitely knows more about than we do because of classified stuff, which is interesting. But either way, it's a movie that just has a very weird kind of stigma to it in the media. But I watched it, and I'm just gonna give my honest opinion of it, ignoring all the noise, and just tell you what I think about it. And I thought it was fucking great. I don't know. I thought it was an incredibly enjoyable post-apocalyptic movie. It was a great mystery. It took place in Long Island, which is what I thought was cool because I'm from Long Island. And ultimately, I just thought it was a really great movie. It had me intrigued. I put this movie on at 1 in the morning, expecting to watch like 30 minutes of it and then finish it the next day. I ended up watching all 2.5 hours of this movie on that same night because it hooked me from the beginning, because I thought the characters were interesting, the performances were fun, the movie was paced well, I thought the camera work and the cinematography in the movie was interesting and intriguing. I thought the edit was really great, and Mahershala Ali, I mean, come on, it's Mahershala Ali. I love seeing him in everything. There's a lot about this movie that works, but we'll go on. I'll go detail for detail. I'll talk about everything individually, and then I'll give you my overall score like I usually do. First off, the cast here. I want to talk about the characters. First off, the main family that we follow, which is headed by Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, who are playing a couple here. Now, here's the thing. Julia Roberts is an amazing actress, but I do not see her in many things these days that really blow my mind. Most of the stuff that I see her in, she's playing the same sort of character that you see her and everything else. Here, though, Julia Roberts is playing a character that is just so interesting and fascinating to watch. I mean, she is a character that is so difficult to like. We're just gonna call her character Karen, because that's essentially what she is. She is Karen. And she plays this character in such a disgusting way that she's sort of even hard to look at. Julia Roberts is a beautiful woman, but she is ugly in this movie just from the way that she portrays this character, who is just a nightmare to deal with. But at the same time, she's, you root for her by the end of the movie because she is just a mother trying to protect her family. And at the end of the day, her character is really great. And there's a lot of stuff in this performance, a lot of nuance that I really enjoyed. It's a really strong performance. And then you have Ethan Hawke, and Ethan Hawke is just great in everything he does. He's one of my favorite actors working today, and I just absolutely love him. And although his role here, it's not anything crazy, he doesn't do anything particularly special, he's just playing a dad, this, kind of loser dad who's trying to protect his family, but is definitely, he can't get anywhere without GPS or the internet. He is really, really great in this movie, though. I liked seeing him. And then Mahershala Ali. I mean, come on, man. This guy's a 2-time Oscar winner. Everything he touches is amazing. I think he's one of the best actors working today, if not, honestly, the best actor that we have today. He's so cool. He's so charismatic. Just him being on screen doing nothing is amazing. But in this movie, he's awesome, and I loved every second that he was here. And oh my god, Marvel, how can you not figure out how to do a Blade movie around this guy? I mean, that should be the easiest layup of a movie ever. It writes itself, but you guys suck. But the cast here all does an amazing job. They bring the movie to life. All the younger actors, they do a decent job. And overall, they serve their purpose. Then we get to the actual story of the movie, this apocalyptic mystery. When a movie like this, and I'll compare it to something like Bird Box and movies of that realm, these movies that set up this intriguing apocalyptic mystery for the characters to both deal with, have to survive, but also a mystery that engages the audience and keeps us interested all the way to the end of the film to see what's happening. We want to see what is actually happening to the world and the lore behind it. And this movie does it, honestly, better than I've ever seen a movie, at least in like the last decade of new movies do it. This movie was so intriguing with the world because it opened up so many different options of what it could be. What is confining these characters? What is this blackout? There were points in the movie where I'm thinking, what is it, like a supernatural thing? Are there aliens? Then there's other points where you think it's more of a, realistic answer. And by the time you get to the ending and you get to the conclusion, Yes, it's a little bit on the nose when it's, you know, trying to say about our reality, and it's trying to hit us over the head of being like, something like this can happen in our real world. Like, yeah, it's a little bit on the nose, but it's super, super satisfying in the same way. And altogether, it comes together really, really well, and I enjoyed that about this movie, and it had me hooked to the very, very end. I wanted to see where this mystery was going because I thought the way they had built it up and the way they had established the world and the stuff that the characters and the conflicts the characters had to deal with, I thought was done really, really well. And listen, at the end of the day, I could nitpick a lot of stuff in this movie that doesn't work, I can nitpick the length, but at the end of the day, it's a movie that I sat down for expecting to just, you know, be whatever with, maybe watch a little bit of, and it had gripped me to watch the entire runtime. And any movie that can do that, no matter what it's about or what the cause is, if a movie can grip me for its entire runtime and have me invested and I don't touch my phone for 2.5 hours, the movie did something right. And I also want to say the cinematography in this movie, yet again, and the editing is amazing. Now, from what I've seen of Mr. Robot, this definitely has a lot of that same style. A lot of, like, the weird overhead shots where the camera slowly turns kind of on an angle and comes down level with the characters. Stuff like that, and weird editing tools mixed with the sound design. It definitely made for a unique experience. I don't think I've ever really seen anything like it, at least in this genre of films, and ultimately, it gave the movie a vibe and a feel that just made it really unique to watch. I also think the fact that this movie's kind of polarizing is really great for it. Like, yes, the messaging and the themes I don't think are polarizing in a sense. It's really just a commentary on how over-reliant we are on our internet and on everything else. And I honestly, you know, I just spent an entire day in my house where I had no internet, no cable, no nothing. And yeah, this movie kind of is accurate when it comes to how dependent we are. It's something that we should be able to live without, but it just kind of shuts down our life when we don't have it. And this movie kind of just studies how fast people will, you know, everything will fall apart if that happens. And it's something that is really real. The threat of a blackout is something that's real and kind of terrifying. And I think the themes and the things this movie are trying to say, although a little on the nose at times, a little too obvious, which is okay, but a little on the nose, I still think are very real, and it made sense, and honestly, this feels like a precursor to whatever Alex Garland's Civil War movie is gonna be. It'd be hilarious if this is just like a secret prequel. But overall, I really enjoyed Leave the World Behind. Is it the best movie of the year? No. Is it gonna be, you know, a movie that's competing for awards? Is it gonna be in the top 5 of my end of the year list? Like, no. The movie does have some issues. I think there are 2 really weird, gigantic CGI moments that definitely took a lot of the budget, and these moments are really cool. They're done really well, and the images and the stuff that happens are awesome, but they don't contribute that much to the overall plot of the story, and there's other parts of the movie where it just kind of feels like they didn't have the budget to do something cool, which would have had effects or would have had a larger scope. And then I'm like, oh, it's because all the budget went into those 2 shots and then also having this cast. But it's not a perfect movie, but I still really enjoyed it, and I recommend watching it on Netflix. This is a movie I've already recommended to a ton of people. So overall, I'm gonna give Leave the World Behind a 4 out of 5. I think it's great. So that's the video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. Make sure to click the video on your screen right now to see a teaser from my brand new movie. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.